Hello, good afternoon. Actually, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's another day of me making a video inside my closet, and it's actually night. Like always, I am now driving, so this is one of the hardest commitment I actually meant to do. I was committed to make a video inside my vehicle as a ways of not being in my own closet, but unfortunately I cannot record when I'm outside because A, I'm not in the mood, B, I don't know what to record during the day. I have to make sure that I have something to record or something to say. And C, I just cannot, I have to make sure that I record at the end of the night. So I have everything, everything primed and ready. So today, as usual, woke up in the morning. It's Monday. It's actually October 20th, and it's been going pretty fast. So we have again a week almost. We have 10 days before we leave October and we head over to November. Times are getting more of fast. You're getting in fall, so we're gonna be jumping into Halloween. Then we're going to sort of heading to November. I need to work on my newsletter soon because it's coming up. But today, as usual, woke up, had dinner, had the breakfast, and I just at the same time went to school, and I was able to check out my new apartment. I filled up some applications. I found a really good apartment at university. Maybe someday I'm not sure where I'm going to be moving to. It's not the best, but it's cheaper and it's close to the university, so I don't have to commute and get back on the campus at this time. It's the commute is it's not impressive, to be honest. Like I just don't feel like it's really good for me to commute every single day. And even though it's not raining right now, if it gets winter, it's going to be tougher and much harder. And even though Washington DC has been amazing, there hasn't been any sort of outages. But you never know; things can happen, especially in winter. And I don't want to drive to school at all. I also want to share. The government is still shut down. The Democrats are still emphasizing on passing bills, passing policies that the Republican are refused. So there's a push back and forth. So we are probably like almost 20 days, almost 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, of close to 3 weeks of government shutdown. This is going to be like the longest shutdown we ever seen in the history of the United States. All right. So the president of the United States, the Trump, it doesn't seem like he cares. He's still doing his own thing. He's not really involved as much. But other than that, I'm just gonna go to sleep and take a nap. Wake up in the morning tomorrow, do the same thing. Now, today there was an outages from AWS. As you probably already know, I was a big fan of AWS. I am still a big fan of AWS. I do organize AWS events, so I'm kind of involved in like spreading the word. I don't get paid for this, but I love AWS. AWS has much influence. They influence banks. They don't influence. They just host a lot of databases and data centers. So they are the biggest provider of cloud computing or cloud services. So from yesterday, they had huge outages. So I was not able to access the Canvas, the university system. I was not able to log in to access the job pay because I have some pay stuff on the pay information, my pay information about the company, which is Amazon. And when I was applying for a house, I could not log in, so there was huge outages. The system was very slow. A lot of companies that rely on AWS were very down. So you have institutions, you have governments, you have any kind of institution, and private sector was pretty much down, mostly in the east, the east area, which is where we are right now. Because AWS has different types of regions. So they have like South African region, Nigerian region, they have European region, they have US. In the US, they have Northern Virginia region, then they have the East region, Oregon region, West Coast region, Central region. So they host data centers in the different parts of the world, and which is why they are very effective and they are loved by so many companies and institutions. So when one side is running out, there's an outage, the other side can take over. So anyway, this is more like AWS cloud computing stuff, but I'm pretty sure there was a huge financial setback. Today I will presented me and my team, we presented the research paper that we'll be working on, which is the poverty converging. Why don't questions converge? Why don't poor nations converge? And I was able to talk about this, like the basics of things, like we emphasize that we need to see the quality of institutions, and we need to see human capitals. We need to invest in people, which is like education, food, healthcare. So for the past few weeks, I've been actually talking about human capital, how we can invest in good nutrition, how we can invest in the education, basic education, the agriculture businesses, improve entrepreneurship, credit access, loans, low interest rate. We could focus more on other things. Healthcare is one thing, right? So as today, it was much more clear and much more better. Those are resources, and I cannot wait to see this research paper coming out, and hopefully it's going to be one of the best I've worked so far. The purpose of going to school for me as a master's student is to do research. I've never actually worked on a research, do some real empirical data and publish it. So something I could have done in my undergrad, but I didn't get to do it because it was such a lot of people, a lot of students, that professors don't really focus much on having students do research. So now that I'm going to be doing it, it's going to be the best thing I've ever done. So that's one thing. I have another research coming up, I haven't touched on it. I have homework coming up, I haven't touched on it. So the homework is due tomorrow, the research paper is due tomorrow. It's due on Thursday. I believe it's due on Sunday, but we have until Thursday. So very, very stressful moment, to be honest. And I really don't know. Oh jeez, super tired. I really don't know when I'm gonna get this done. But that's part of economics. Part of economics is being able to understand that this is what humans go through every day and make the right decisions, pass policies that will help people. So came from the research paper presentation, then I immediately went to an MBA networking event. I'm not an MBA student, but I just walked in and I was able to meet wonderful MBA and alumni professionals. One of the guys recommended for he took my LinkedIn. He recommended for me to that he's gonna be recommending me to one of the recruits at Capital One. Capital One is a company that is headquartered here in Washington DC and the Virginia area, and they do specialize in credit cards and all those sort of financial stuff. So he said that they are hiring, they're looking for recruiters really quickly. So he said that maybe he could give me a shot, help me get into the field, to the door. Why am I? Anyway, I think I'm tired. So anyway, there are other things that the other guy that I met who works in accounting, he mentioned how the accounting, they are looking for people who have diversification. So accounting alone is becoming more less relevant. So you're like having extra skills like in economics, analytics, those things will help out, as they want people not just to do accounting but to be able to make other decisions like consulting or auditing, something like that. So that's all I did today. A chunk of the time I spent was just pretty much finding a place to stay, doing application fees, hopefully that I will get approved and I can eventually move. If everything works, I can move by in the next 2 weeks. So because time is running fast, then eventually I don't have to make these videos in the midnight. There will be no excuse for me to make a video in my closet once I move, right? Also, like, I can't wait to have my own apartment, like, you know, having roommates. Of course, you can hear in my background is already some noise, somebody watching movies, some watching TV. I know those things really, like, I'm a student. As a student, I need to be able to sleep, have time to sleep, have time to study. Of course, I can't, you know, if there is maybe somebody turning on a TV or to very loud noise, you know. And I understand, like, I don't want to like control somebody trying to enjoy their own life, their own time, and sometimes it's even beyond. It's beyond TV. Sometimes it's even like couples in my next door. So those things really do affect my ability to study and my ability to focus and my ability to get some sleep. So yeah, what else do I want to share? This week is gonna be busy. I'm thinking about the topic to work on my next research, my next newsletter, and I'm thinking about publishing a newsletter about this converging, this idea of convergence. Why don't we see nation converging? There is one particular graph that I presented in my research, in my presentation. This graph came from one of the research papers I read, which was published in 2014, but the data was from 1960 to 2010. The data shows countries, so you have like a graph, right? You have a middle graph, a straight graph, like a dividing line, like a supply line, and then that line is like a growth model line, and then nations that have stagnation, nations that are not growing across the graph, nations that are growing faster are beyond the graph. Nations that are below the growth, they are beyond the graph, beyond the line. And this is from 1960 to 2010, and it shows like Democratic Republic of Congo in a negative number, like way below. Then it also shows like countries like Ghana, United States, and actually Ethiopia on the same line as United States, like they are really similar. So that means United States, you know, these poor countries, the growing economies countries, and the United States are on the same trajectory, on the same level. Meanwhile, it shows China and many other countries, China, Greece, India, Mexico, like shooting up, like they are really like moving up positively. And this data was collected in 2005. So and now China has like tremendously grown fast. So we can say that China has probably like gone all the way up. No, the main point of this graph was to show that countries do have actually some sort of input. So when I say there is no converging, when I say there is a poverty trap, when I say these countries are poor, when I say they are not producing the output, I'm not saying they're entirely producing zero output, because they won't be able to survive, but they have some level of output. So they are producing, and every year they are producing more and more and more. So they are not staying at the same level. There is no stagnation, but they are not growing fast enough to catch up with other fastest growing economies or already strong economies nations like US or Europe. So that was the thing that I want to share today. Like, if you found this video very helpful, give me a follow, like and share. Like always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao ciao, bye bye.